9/12/2014. This is Stephen Hornbeak, and this is another episode of Click Warning, and we are talking about what the heck Click Warning is. We've had 100 videos that have been created on YouTube that were just playing around, just making stuff, testing out new experiments, looking at different things, and a lot of fun things were looked into, to be quite honest. I mean, we did if silly green screen effects to uh, video specific to trying to save something, to dub voices, and throughout that way, we just learned baby steps. I mean, I don't know. When I was playing with this thing, I was like, man, I'm slowly learning how to use the microphone, and I'm slowly learning how to use video for the first time. And then next thing you know, all I know how to do is dub a voice over a video, and that's where the little Ninja Turtles thing came from. So just building a little storyline with that one tool that I was testing. And so I guess what I wanted to do is just kind of summarize, like, although all of those 100 videos are all really silly and unpolished and not defined in their own right, they're testing story, they're testing different avenues of business, and they were really just exploring how to use a skill set and a tool set, which is video editing, and the equipment that kind of goes along with that. And so now I can decide to step back and define exactly how I want to use that tool set. But the thought that keeps me interested is just kind of exploring how to help people with creativity, and creativity specifically on the way people think about the web. I mean, the whole reason I went with the word click warning is it's something that entices you to one, click being an action, and then warning being like dangerous. It's just the human mind says, well, it's psychology, and I'm not a psychologist, but I do love to try to think about what I would do, and then think about what most other people do that, and if that's the case, or understand the person well enough to have an idea of what you think they would do, because we all have our little quirks and mannerisms. But yeah, just take our viewpoint on all that stuff and put it all together and work to help build creativity just on many levels. I think creativity is all about interaction and building just relationships with people, because I was explaining creativity to a friend last night, and I basically broke it down as like there's all these little particles floating around in your head, and each particle is a thought or an idea to something that you already know. So like a television or a couch or a chair or objects or things or feelings, and you relate to all of that stuff. Those little thoughts or particles are then gathered and kind of selected and kind of hand connected. So, I said couch, TV, because I'm in a place where there's a couch and a television, so it's right in front of me, and I'm making that connection visually. But creative people actually work very hard to build random connections, to build consumer benefits or benefits for the people. And so I think that's what we can chase, and that's what we could do together. And if the more people that come and interact, the more particles that you wouldn't think about. So you have all the particles that your mind's able to kind of create by themselves, and then you bring another mind into it, and when those two come together, you're actually doubling your efficiencies, because they're not seeing the same things, so they can have a wider spread of what that idea could be. So that's why I think people can think of ideas on their own, don't get me wrong, but when you have a group together, it's sometimes easier to solve a problem when you're just trying to work outward. Like in the creative triangle, if you're diverging and trying to find a handful of ideas, groups are great. Converging is a whole different story, and choosing the right idea, but everyone's got a thought on the same thing differently, and a perception of an object that it's the same to everyone, but viewed differently from one vantage point to another. So, click warning. That's right, we're here, and we're 100 videos in, and I'm playing around, so bear with me, because these are all terrible. I think I have 18 subscribers. I actually sent an email to the first 3 to thank them very much for being a part of it. I never heard back from them afterwards, but if you're listening, I'd love to make a video for you. If you have anything you want to be made, shoot it by. But if not, enjoy your lives. But yeah, so I just thought it was important that I put another video out there for everyone to kind of digest and take in. And I think What I want to do now is I started to build a branding. I actually started to build a lot of the tools that I want to use for click warning, and that's different things like click loops and keeping people, within your ecosystem. And so there's some tricks and tools that I want to use at the end of every video, because that's a very important place if they've made it to the end of the video, that you want to give them suggestions and options to go somewhere else, and that's pretty common stuff. But I think, taking a deeper dive into the way everything's constructed could be beneficial just for anyone that's looking to build a YouTube channel or a video, or just thinking about creativity, or you name it. I mean, I think the site will slowly define itself, and people will put up with the terrible, or the less refined images and video and that type of stuff, and they will maybe see the core of the idea. That's the combination of like a video that's been created and then an explanation of why that video was created. And I think that's really, really valuable. And I don't, you see that like on the DVDs and that type of stuff, where you have the director speaking about the movie or whatever, but I don't think you have people giving voiceovers on why they did something in advertising or in media and that type of stuff. And I think knowing, just working for a handful of different great places and seeing the quality of entertainment and what people really crave and digest, and how to speak to the consumer, and knowing what voice and who you're talking, there's a handful of things that goes into constructing just a visual piece of content or a physical piece of content. And I think click warning is an experiment for everyone. So if you're listening, I hope to keep you as a listener, and I like to keep some of the videos completely blank. I'm planning, I think, on this, with this voiceover, to just have it be more of a podcast type of thing. So if anyone does click on the video link, they're not really going to see anything. And I'm okay with that, because I think it's about the idea, and when you get the visual imagery, there's distraction from that idea sometimes, unless you have detailed images supporting what you're talking about, which then you're working hand in hand. But normally I don't have that. So but we're coming up to about 8 minutes, and all I really wanted to do was jump on and say hello, and the next thing you know, it moved into something a little bit bigger and better. So that's great. And in the future, I think I'm going to start working on refining what the beginning and the end of click warning looks like, and then from there, fill it with stuff in the middle. So we'll just have to see what that is. And I think the most important thing is just the only thing that's really worked for me so far is just kind of chasing real world trends. So the Ice Bucket Challenge came out, and I had a couple videos I created that got out ahead of that, and that was the only thing that's really produced for me. All these little crazy projects that are side projects, only the trend ones were the most successful. I did have some luck with keywords and niches. Like I did a handful of keyword research for Google, and I found some words that were great keywords that were potential placement for Google. But then I just tried to make videos on those keywords to see how well I would do in Yahoo, and a lot of them listed within a day or two. So it was amazing. So if that's those little tricks and tips, I think are really helpful. And I think I can make a whole video just on that. But another time, another day. So, thank you everyone for listening. I usually try to do these things in groups, but I think I'm stepping out for a little bit, so this one might be a solo upload. But, alright, enjoy your Friday. Peace.